So I was really unsure about college because I'd always just didn't really see the purpose of it, I guess. And maybe because it was pushed onto me, I didn't like the pushiness.
By whom? Your parents?
Parents, school,
Yeah,
everyone tells you go to college.
Go.
Yeah. And
Well,
like,
what else are you gonna do?
yeah, and so I felt really pushy, and I didn't, I guess, like that, even though I had the grades, I had the scores. So then I didn't plan on going. And then I really thought, like, well, if I can do something with business, start some sort of business, I don't need college. And then...
Entrepreneur.
Yeah, and so then that's when I was for sure done. And then going... Then probably towards the end of the year, I was really starting to get into psychology. And I had
You had psych in high school?
No, I didn't. I just was just reading articles and just books about it, and then I had an English teacher, which probably my favorite teacher ever, because he was just like this wild, but like would like have really good points, and he was big into psychology, and I guess that was what his minor was, major in education. And so then he kind of was like encouraged me and said, maybe college is free, maybe it isn't, and so then that's when I really started looking to it. But by that time, all the college, too late for scholarships, financial aid, all that stuff. So then I just decided that I'm gonna have to take a full year off and then just reapply for next year.
Right on.
So that's kind of where I'm at right now, and just saving as much money.
That's great. That's smart. Actually, you know, that's really smart, man.
Thank you.
Most people just go, they live by the nose, and they go and they don't know what they want.
Yeah.
And they waste anywhere between 1 and 4 years having a party.
Yeah.
And then they're in debt.
And that's why I've always said, and I still tell people that if you're not sure about college, don't just go just to go. You should have some reason.
Yeah. It's not cheap.
Yeah, no. And I feel like that's why I really, because over this past year, really been a shift, I guess, in where my focus on things are. In terms of, and I think last Art Harvest when I went and saw you was my first in a couple of years, maybe 5 years I hadn't gone, and your art just really, it was just very free but like organized at the same time.
Yeah.
I like the term perfect chaos.
Perfect chaos. Perfectly imperfect.
Yeah.
Organized chaos. Yeah. I appreciate that. I do. Thank you. Yeah. It's very unusual, let me say, for a young man to be interested in A, art, and be going around checking out art, and B, psychology, doing some deep thinking. Because it is, I mean, it's deep thinking.
Yeah.
It's not superficial. It's like, oh, wait a minute. I know there's more to the story than this.
Yeah, I think that's where I would catch myself. Like in school, I'd always be trying to like understand, why is this person doing this, or why is, like in middle school, like everyone's always doing, there's always drama, there's always, and then you start realizing like slowly, like, oh, this kid that is starting fights and whatnot doesn't have parents at home, or there's no.
Yep. Let's see the circumstances that lead to all kinds of. Well, they all have consequences.
Yeah. So that's why I realized, like, it's not just, there's evil people, just bad situations, or.
And there are some evil people, and that's like, how did they get that way?
Yeah, exactly.
And how did they get that way? Wow. It's like people do some
Yeah. I want to ask about, because I feel like I don't really, in terms of like, I guess my opinion, like art that just is so beautiful. You don't really see quotes like covering the art like yours does. Where did that come from? Or
Where did it come from? Okay, good question. Where did it come from? It came from, well, okay, interestingly, I was a psych major in college.
oh, really?
Yeah, and philosophy minor.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
This is like, way long time ago.
Yeah.
And so these kind of philosophy, psychology, spirituality,
Yeah.
they always interested me.
Uh-huh.
And then I do a lot of reading and in recovery.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm a recovered alcoholic addict.
Okay.
36 years clean and sober.
Wow.
So also doing that recovery work, a lot of reading, and then I find like, these beautiful, inspiring quotes, right?
Mhm.
Whether it's poetry, whether it's all different sources, it doesn't matter to me. Whether it's Christian, Taoist, Buddhist, a philosopher, poet, Rumi,
Yeah.
Sufis, anything, as long as, wow, that resonates.
Mhm.
And I write stuff down, like maybe on a post-it while I'm reading, and collect stuff, and then it's like, wow, that could turn into a book. Yeah, that needs to be on an artwork somewhere. Like I just did one last week,
Mhm.
a poem by Rumi,
Okay.
who was Sufi master like hundreds of years ago, but I love his poetry is amazing. It's all about opening the heart, right? Sufis. And my work is about opening the heart.
Uh-huh.
So I said, wow. Okay, I just gotta paint that on a canvas, the poem. So I did. So, yeah. And then like teaching art around the world for 20 years.
Mhm.
Sometimes I wouldn't have materials, but like I could always wouldn't have canvases or wouldn't have paint store or,
Yeah.
but could usually always get magazines and cardboard. And I would save cereal boxes, cut them into postcard.
Oh.
5 by 7.
Okay.
Did you see my postcard collection?
I don't think
I have like
I
a
don't
couple
think I saw it.
hundred that, like I'm in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
I'm not going out to art store, right? Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm cutting apart my cereal boxes and collaging on them.
Uh-huh.
And words just seem to go together. It
Yeah.
just goes together for me.
Yeah. I think it really does. It just makes sense for your art.
And it's all personal. It's all like, I do this because it's meaningful to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if it resonates with you, beautiful.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, you're going to walk right by and you're like, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's weird. But if it resonates with somebody, boom.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I feel like nowadays everyone's always doing it for other people.
Oh, yeah.
But-
What can I sell?
Yeah.
Will this sell? Will this sell? So let me please the public.
Yeah.
Totally impossible. Or if that's the way you go, it's like, when I was young, Giovanni, and I was like, aimless basically, but
Mhm.
I had an artistic. When I took this course in, there was this after high school trade school
Mhm.
that had commercial art. I said, I'll take commercial art for a semester. I learned some art skills, right? But it was all about being a commercial artist.
Uh-huh.
And that really rankled with me.
Yeah.
It just did. I mean, I did a semester and I quit.
Yeah, I feel like you see a lot, like, that's why I personally, like, appreciate when, like, if I don't like someone's art, I can appreciate the fact that they didn't do it, or like let's say an artist, a musician, so it wasn't a great album. I'm glad that they did something that they wanted to do, and they, like some artists will come out and be like, I just wanted to try this out.
Yeah.
It didn't matter the reviews or.
Yep. Didn't matter. I just did it because I wanted to.
And I feel like there's like a clear line between artists that do it for themselves and artists that are more skillful doing what they think is best for the public.
And for artists in this culture, really, realistically, this culture is not easy on artists.
Yeah.
So everything's geared towards commercialism and making money.
Yeah.
I mean, everything. You wake up and you think, how am I going to pay my rent? How am I going to buy food? But, so to be an artist in this culture is particularly difficult. And, yeah.
And you feel like it was...
So you gotta like, okay, well, I gotta make a living. I gotta have a day job.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do this on my own time and have a day job. And then if I can merge those two paths, oh, whoa, beautiful.
Yeah, that'd be...
Really beautiful. That's be like, wow, now I'm getting paid to do this?
Yeah.
And that's what being an art teacher was for me. I get to share my passion with kids, which is, then it's like really enriching because you get a lot of energy coming back too.
Yeah.
It's not just me telling kids, well, this is, do this, do this, do this. No, and then you say, okay, let them explore and see what comes out of them. That's the value of art. It's coming out, what comes out.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting the way you word that, because it's like the exact same thing. Well, of course people use it as their therapy, but it's like trying to get as much out of you in a comfortable setting.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this is a super comfortable setting.
Yeah.
This is amazing. We're in God's garden here. You could say, oh, how would the Garden of Eden differ from this? Well, it doesn't. This is your it.
Yeah.
You're here.
Yeah.
You're here. Oh, wow. Yeah. And, you know, even early on when I started following psych as my major,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't start out as a psych major, but I quickly gravitated to it. And then art, I was like, well, art therapy really interests me, you know. So,
Yeah.
so I investigated that path too. And then I had some friends that were already art therapists and realized, holy cow, there's not a lot of art therapist positions.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be in a hospital, or it's like private practice is really difficult. And anyways, you have to hustle for clients. And I said, I can't do that right now. I got little kids. I can't just hustle for 20 hours a week. Work.
Yeah.
I need something more stable.
I was gonna ask, because I feel like right now, as you enter adulthood, you're obviously leaving a child and you have more responsibilities.
Yep.
As an artist, how do you feel like how do you make that transition, or what was it for you, of like, I got responsibilities?
I got responsibilities. Well, kids is a wake-up call for me. So, and it was like the phone's ringing, and sobriety was like, I knew I had issues from growing up in an alcoholic abusive home.
Oh, okay.
Right? I knew I had issues. And then it took me a few more years after my son was born, I said, whoa, I really need to get my act together.
So that was all on you, in terms of like...
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't my family or my wife saying, you really need to go to a meeting because this is not working.
Wow.
I knew my life wasn't working. I was like, but I was frustrated and couldn't figure it out. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm spinning my wheels. Why am I always spinning?
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting no traction. And then started going to some adult children of alcoholics meetings, figuring out, oh, this stuff's making sense. Reading some books, reading some psych books like, there's just one great therapist I'll recommend to you. Her name is Alice Miller, and this one book, The Drama of the Gifted Child. It's like, wow. Whoa. Even the title caught me, right?
Yeah.
And I said, okay, and it's a skinny book. And I like skinny books.
I'm just laughing because one of my questions was going to be, do you feel like there's a sacrifice as an artist in terms of just, I feel like you see in a lot of artists, there's like this pain that they have, or
oh, definitely.
and like it's like that's what makes them so relatable or so.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. You know, like that you're sublimating your pain, or it's a art is a catharsis. You know, it's like, wow, the only way I'm gonna get some relief is to express.
Yeah.
You know, so if I don't express it, it's gonna blow up in me. I'll just explode. I'll be back to being, square one.
Yeah.
So it's all of that. It's the catharsis of it. Okay. That's a release. Now I can. Yeah. Now, oh, look at the pain I got out there. It's healing.
Yeah.
It's a healing journey. So it's all part of that healing journey for me.
For me, I haven't done too much art where, in terms of but I've realized that like, I just feel like when you're just vulnerable, and with putting your art out there, I feel like it's very vulnerable.
Yeah.
But it's almost like it's hard to be hurt because it's already all out. It's just there's no, you let go of the pain. You're in the process of letting it go.
That's true. That's true. And then, well, then you think, well, I put my heart and soul into this stuff.
Yeah.
People should appreciate it.
Yeah.
And most people don't care.
Yeah.
And they don't get it at all. And so that's like a rejection in a way, It's like, but that's part of the process. That's part of the process. Okay, you don't get it. I mean, I can try to explain it to you, but still, everybody's on their own journey.
Yeah.
And I feel like we cross paths once in a while, and it's like, yeah, that exactly. That's exactly it right there, Leo. Like I had that experience. Like even last year during Art Harvest, this young guy I know, and he walking around. He says, "Hey, come in here and tell me about that piece right there, that one." And there's like 100 pieces out, that one. And it's like I made it totally for me and my relationship with my mom.
Wow.
And how it was broken, and this guy totally got it. He says, okay, that's the one. I need to have it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I didn't expect, nobody's going to get this. It was like an old record album. I broke it.
Oh, I did see that one. I thought it was I did like that one.
My mom was a broken record with, Yeah.
I think that's funny that you say that about his experience, but that was the exact same experience I had. I walked in the room and I was with my girlfriend, and I just stopped and I just stood there for like 3-4 minutes.
Really?
And then I was concerned. I was like, it's probably gonna be really expensive. I was like, his artwork's amazing. And then you're like, oh, 100. I was just blown away. Like, and you could just tell that like it was just about sharing that with someone else for you. Like it wasn't even about really the money.
See, because that's another whole thing. If someone gets it and they okay, I like your piece and I would like to have it.
Yeah.
Then it's like, oh, now you're gonna put a dollar number on it?
Yeah.
Which is totally ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. In a way. But okay, but that's what we do. In a commercial exchange culture like this.
Yeah, I had an idea, which I still feel like I'm far away from it, but I said that if I was ever an artist, that I would solely make any artworks that were sold all like donation money, and then make money from doing other collaborations or videos, or but solely make the artwork donation money, because
very interesting.
Because I don't think it's necessary. I just think the artwork world is so it's obviously amazing, but it's just like the money of it, like when some pieces are worth 20 to 30 million, you're like,
that's a whole nother world, and that's not even about the art.
Yeah.
That's about investment value for wealthy people, for the wealthy class, the 1%ers, saying, oh, you know, I bought a Jean-Michel Basquiat. That's $100 million.
Yeah.
Oh, where is it? Oh, it's in a vault. No one can see it. It's in a vault in Zurich. And it's, you know what they use that stuff for? Then they can borrow money off that.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's that part of the art world. So it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, I just feel like just the idea of that, it just makes me want to reject it completely.
Exactly. Kind of makes you nauseous. But hey, that's the 1%.
Because you mentioned it.
There's other 1%ers that are true art appreciators.
Yeah.
They're not that many of them, but they do exist.
Yeah.
Like somebody like, for example, you heard of the Guggenheim family? Okay. Billionaires. One of their, I don't know how they made their billions, tycoons in America, right? But one of them, Peggy, art lover, she started collecting all this art from, going to Europe when the post-impressionists were around. Oh my gosh, this stuff's fabulous. Like buying up Cézanne, Picasso's.
Wow.
Modigliani's, all these greats early on in their career when it's like $20.
Oh wow.
Or it's like they were making art to eat. They were just hand to mouth. Like Vincent never sold one.
Yeah.
Even though his brother's an art dealer in Paris.
Yeah.
His brother Taylor's an art dealer. Yeah, nobody's ready for it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Nobody's ready for it.
Yeah, it's such an interesting thing how you see so many, especially in that era, so many artists that they were like, it was no value when they're alive, but then they die.
Yep.
Because you mentioned him, do you have some sort of, did you like Jean-Michel a lot?
Basquiat?
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. The freedom and brilliance and oh yeah. Did you ever see the movie about him? Another artist, famous artist, made the film. Julian Schnabel.
Okay.
He still around. Okay, Schnabel, he does videos, he does movies, he does painting. He's a genius artist. Okay, so he makes this movie. He says, "I gotta make a movie about Jean-Michel." Gets David Bowie.
Okay.
So to play the part of Andy Warhol. Because there was that relationship that developed. And these other great actors, Dennis Hopper was in it, and Jeffrey Wright. I think Jeffrey Wright, early in his career, plays Basquiat. Anyways, great flick. I highly recommend you
I'll have to watch it.
And also, after you watch that, watch this interview that, this interviewer named Charlie Rose, I think is his name.
I don't know for sure, but I think, because I was watching, so I went to his exhibit in LA.
Whose?
Basquiat.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I guess his family put it together.
When was that?
It was just this August. And it was really, it had all the artworks and most of them. And it was really good. It was set up well. The only thing that, but I think I saw that interviewer, because they're saying how he would interview him a lot, if that's the one.
Yeah. Well, this interview I'm thinking of, he interviewed David Bowie at the same time as Julian Schnabel, the filmmaker.
Okay.
And they're talking about Jean-Michel. Jean-Michel's long dead.
Yeah.
Even by that time. Because he's in the 27 club, right?
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah.
There's another thing about like artist pain, right?
Uh-huh.
I mean, usually we think of performing artists and music. That's 27 club, but no, it's broader than that.
Yeah.
Suicide by what? By any means necessary.
Wow, that's a good.
Oh my God, so much pain we carry, and that's like back to my art journey, Ronnie.
Yeah.
We're carrying all this pain, and I'm doing all this work in pain, and then like people are very aware now of intergenerational pain and how we carry pain in our body, and then actually transmit it to the next generation.
Yeah.
My mom and dad, I dealt with what I could. My mom, nope, here's your pain bundle. My dad, he dealt with what he could. He got sober in his life, and we had a complete 180 in our relationship, which was beautiful.
That's great.
We were both sober at the same time. We could go to an A meeting together. It was beautiful.
Wow.
Right? What a gift. What a gift. But still, there's a lot of pain that it's like, okay, there's a backlog of I don't know how many generations. Because we bring it wherever we go, is my belief.
Yeah, that's that. It's just that you feel that just sacrifice with all these big artists that die super young, and the thing that always makes me, obviously there's no number, but it's like how many lives did they save with their artwork? And it's
true.
Cause
true. It's like, hey kid,
yeah,
don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't jump. Like I was suicidal when I was young. Like, who doesn't go through suicidal ideation at least?
Yeah.
Everybody's got ideation.
And I hear a lot of people, because I've had conversations with many people, and I feel like the term that a lot of people try to use is, I thought about it, but I've never really considered it.
I didn't have a plan.
Yeah,
I mean, as a psychologist or a therapist, like, but did you have a plan? Did you have a time, place, and a method? No, I didn't go that far. Well, okay, I did. I had a method. It was ridiculous, but aren't they all?
Yeah.
But I'm really grateful. Thank God I did not.
Yeah, I think we're all grateful.
Because divine intervention, I rely on divine intervention in my life, and I believe it. I mean, that's what recovery is. You know, where they say you're gonna have a moment of clarity. You're gonna have a moment of clarity. It's like you wake up call. Do I pick it up?
Yeah.
This is my chance. You're maybe not gonna get another call.
Yeah.
You might not. It's like, oh, I'll call somebody else.
Yeah.
Maybe they're ready to wake the hell up.
Yeah, I think it was in a film, and they were saying, this guy was talking about just like people in like poor areas having less opportunities, and he says you're gonna have your window, and if you don't jump through it at that time, it's gonna pass and it'll be gone.
Yeah, window of opportunity. Yep.
Just
that reminds me of this funny little anecdote. When I was a teacher in California before I went overseas, they had this little room, you know, like kids are breaking rules. This was elementary school. You break the rule, okay, you got to go to the referral room. They called it referral.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And then they said, well, we got to give it a positive spin. Let's call it the opportunity room.
Okay.
It's an opportunity to think about your behavior and how you ended up here. So my son was one of those kids that was frequenting this place. Anyways, this is not about my son. This is about my friend Mark. He says, okay, he's teaching his class about these little expressions we have in English, idioms. What would you do if opportunity knocks? Boys and girls? Kid says, oh, I wouldn't answer it. Because he's only referencing the opportunity room.
Oh.
You're in trouble.
Okay.
You're in trouble, dude. You broke a rule. Oh, definitely don't knock. Don't answer.
This is the
It's like
counterproductive.
totally counterproductive. Backfire. Right.
How do you,
Go ahead.
I was gonna ask because my mom's a teacher and I have just a lot of teachers around me. And nowadays you see, and I feel like it's a really big shift, but nowadays you'll see a lot of kids get in trouble and it's, all right, just hang out with the guidance counselor and here's some candies or here's some, just hang out with me for the day off. And then it's like, oh, okay, if you have one good day in class without hitting a kid, you can get a hamburger. We can have lunch with me or something. It's like, and I don't know what the teaching was like.
Well, okay, education has changed a lot. Used to be the carrot and the stick.
Mm-hmm.
They mostly used the stick,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Hit you when you're wrong.
Yeah.
No more carrots in front of the donkey.
Uh-huh.
It's like stick on the ass end of the donkey or the carrot in front of them, right?
Okay.
And yeah, well, you know, that's like simplistic psychology. Maybe it's going to work. You got to really try to develop a relationship. That's where that comes from. I think the good intention is there.
Yeah, of course.
Good intention is there to say, hey, you know, we developed this relationship and this rapport together. There's another way to do this school thing.
Yeah.
You don't have to keep making an ass of yourself or making it hard for the teacher and getting thrown out of class.
Yeah.
What is it? Trying to figure out what is it that you really want.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be seen for who I am. Okay, that's good. You start there. But it ends up being too simplistic because, you know, as a teacher, you end up being the therapist, the counselor,
Yes.
the mom, the dad, the nurse. I mean, you got to do so many jobs that it's overwhelming. And kids, what they bring to the classroom is also overwhelming these days. I mean, society's falling apart like left, right, and center.
Yeah.
So how are we going to keep it together? Keep it together.
The relationship aspect definitely is a huge part because I think about it because my mom just has, I guess I haven't been there all the time, but she says she's found a lot of success with kids with behavioral issues. And her whole thing, but she would have great relationships with them where I think a couple of came to my birthday parties but she was very disciplinary where she'd be like, I'm not going to send you to the office to get a candy. You're going to sit and read this book and while the class is coloring or something.
She's smart. She's smart. What does she teach?
She's taught K through 5th. Right now she's doing kindergarten.
Wow. That's awesome. That's where I started. I started teaching kindergarten.
How'd you like it?
Loved it. Unbelievable. Okay, the freedom. It started when I was teaching in California in K, in public school. We had a dream team, a kindergarten team. It was a dream team. I had a mentor on the team when I was starting teaching. She was amazing. But then you could see the trends in education, and it still continues to, like, okay, no, less freedom, more scripting of what teachers have to do, more testing.
Yeah.
Anyways, decided internationally, decided at home here. It's really tough to be a teacher.
Yeah.
Really tough job.
Yeah, I guess that's why you see the shortage nowadays.
Yeah, because the pay scale's not that.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I want to do that. Yeah, and make how much? What?
Yeah, I think I don't know if it was completely true, but I just saw some like a article that was saying that teachers make like 10 or 1,000 more than the 90s, but houses have quadrupled.
Yeah. Yeah. It's ridiculous, man. It's totally ridiculous. My son Ian, okay, after part of his long journey in his early life, said, okay, I'm gonna get a teaching credential, taught overseas the last 2 years. But the administration and the pressure of okay, no, we have to have meetings, blah, blah, blah. The garbage part of it, he said, I quit after 2 years. He's taking a year off right now.
Okay.
And reconfiguring. What am I gonna? He's a poet.
Okay.
So he writes poetry every day.
Wow.
That's like his art form that he finally discovered. Wow, this is it for me, man.
Yeah.
This is it. And he's really brilliant at it. So now he's trying to get published. But he's also figuring out, okay, but I'm going to need a day job. Will I go back to teaching? If not, what else will I do? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess because I don't know, because I'm transitioning into adulthood, but I just feel like you see so many creative people just kind of lose it as they get an adult, become an adult, and like they just blame it on, well, it's time to grow up.
They lose their creativity? You mean?
Yeah.
Because they sell out, so to speak?
Yeah.
I'm going to go work for Apple. I'm going to go work for Amazon.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Good luck. Which is fine if that's your day job and you still do your art practice in the evening. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's paying my bills. So that I don't care. I don't put my heart and soul into Amazon. But when I come home, that's the problem is you're kind of tired.
Yeah, exactly.
After teaching, doubly tired because the emotionality. It's a 24/7 job teaching.
Yeah.
From August when you start until June when you finish.
Yeah.
Just like, wow, you're always trying to figure out, how am I going to help this kid? How am I going to reach that one? I really don't have it together for that kid. I don't know what I could do there. So it's like constant work. Which is great. It's beautiful. It's rewarding. It's soulful. It's also draining.
It is funny because, and I joke around because I've probably heard it 4 or 5 times now. But my mom ever since we meet with family or different friend, she'd be like, "Oh, I got to show you all the kindergartners." So she'll go through each one. She's like, "This one looks like a little troublemaker. This one looks like he's a dancer," or like. And so I've heard it so many times, but it is funny because she's really trying to make those relationships. And
yep, it's a beautiful thing. Kindergarten is very special. It's a thing of its own. It's like a standalone world. You're either love it or you should get the heck out.
Yeah.
And go teach something else. Because there are those that so many teachers are not really meant to be teachers. You know?
Yeah.
It's kind of their fallback.
Yeah.
That's not good. But gee whiz, meeting a student much later, like, I don't know if I've told you this anecdote about early on kindergarten. I had this kid that was really Asperger's, severe, and autistic range, right? And his mom knew, and like, well, I want him in this class because he's good at these type of kids, the tough kids. So he's in my class. Mom was super supportive. We work with this kid. I said, I don't know if I'm reaching him because we're an autistic kid. Wow, you don't know if you're reaching him. Communications is really difficult. Yeah. But anyways, I get a letter from him. I'm graduating. Oh. I'm graduating high school. And you were the best teacher I ever had, and I want you to come to my high school graduation.
Wow.
And the tears are coming down. Oh my God. That's why you do it, man.
Yeah.
That's why you do it. You don't know. You're just planting seeds, being as open as you possibly can with all these kids. And you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to reach them and touch them.
Yeah, I think it's definitely...
And I have a few stories like that. It's like, kids are amazing, and they will surprise you. And they will surprise you, especially if you give them an opportunity to.
Yeah. Just another way. Oh, wow. I have an interesting question just because of what's going on in Oregon. the whole decriminalization of stuff, and how do you feel about that? Just as
Criminalizing a pot?
well, no,
And-
well, decriminalizing like hard drugs, but
Oh. Well, I don't think drug addicts are criminals
mhm.
unless you fucking rob somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we need a lot more recovery centers.
Yeah.
You know, we have a culture that it's an addict culture.
Mhm.
And big business loves addicts. They will sell you every
Yeah.
single day. They will let you numb out. You know? And look, we live in a wine valley.
Yeah.
So, alcohol is a drug.
Yeah, but normalized.
Yeah, it's just nice. Look, we can all do it. Yeah. No, probably not a good idea. Not a good idea to use heroin recreationally.
Yeah.
Now, as far as there's other drugs that it's like, I think it's fantastic, like, for some of the hallucinogens, like
Yeah.
LSD and psilocybin to be used therapeutically.
Okay, so I was gonna ask that next, but
Therapeutically, it's amazing
yeah,
the possibilities
yeah,
for people to unhook from burdens like, oh man, I've been, you know?
yeah. Because I was gonna ask, since I know you're probably from that '70s era.
Yeah, I grew up in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah,
You know?
and so I was just curious because I knew you were sober, but if you, because some people I feel like really have a negative connotation with hallucinogens and whatnot.
I think they should just do more research.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
read, do more research. Like,
Yeah.
there is a great book. Michael Pollan wrote this book called How to Free Your Mind or something like that. You guys going walking?
Yeah.
You going up to Guadalupe?
Yes.
All the way to the top.
Okay. Okay. How long is like an hour and a half?
Like an hour plus. Yeah.
Okay.
So you go up to the top of the ridge.
Yes.
You go right. Then you're going to have to look for a little sign because she's not on the main path. She'll be off to the right, but there's a nice little shine.
Okay. Okay.
On a sunny day, you would see Mount Hood.
Today is not
Not today. Not today. Yeah.
But yeah, I've seen a
But How to Change Your Mind, I think, is the name of his book. And they actually, maybe Netflix did a 4-part series, documentary,
okay.
with him. How to Change Your Mind. One episode on psilocybin, one episode on peyote, like Native American church.
I think it was on Netflix.
Maybe.
I think I did. Maybe started the psilocybin one.
He did one on LSD. You learn the history of these
Yeah.
things. It's like amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's really informative. And then you see, wow, there's a lot of value there.
Yeah.
That the government just says, no, we need to control. We need to be in control
Yeah.
and criminalize this stuff. And for decades they did.
Mm-hmm. I think it's just because like
One of the crimes of America. Well, many crimes. It's
Yeah.
a long list.
yeah, I was amazed when
Oh,
because I've tried psilocybin and I was just blown away with just
good experience for you?
really good experiences. I've had
What
quite
kind
a
of
few.
setting did you?
I've had many settings, but I think I've always loved it with psychology. You are open to just mind-boggling stuff. Like I'll watch mind-boggling movies and things that twist your mind. And I feel like I've been open to it. My first time, I think it was just a very little amount, which I feel like some people just jump straight into it.
Yeah.
And I was very technical about slowly
Like
being
do microdose a
yeah,
little bit?
slowly working it up to practice. And the way I would explain it to some people, it's like working out. Maybe you could lift 50s your first time on a new workout,
Very good
but
analogy.
but your form's not going to be good, and you're probably going to hurt something.
Yeah, you pull a muscle.
Yeah, and then you're going to not want to do that workout
And then
anymore.
you're just like, I'm not going to do that for a week or 2
yeah.
weeks. Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I slowly ramped it up, and then And I feel like I've been, in terms of being open, like I've had bad experiences, but I know there's something from that. It's not just.
And you learn something from it.
Yeah, there's a reason why I was feeling down that day or feeling trapped. It's not just a coincidence.
It didn't come out of nowhere.
Yeah, it didn't come out of nowhere.
Where did it come from?
Yeah. And I don't know if you've had any experiences, but
I have. Like a year or so ago, it was during COVID. So, yeah, I did a day with a therapist, right? Because I want to do it guided through a therapist. Like, he says, let's start with an MDMA experience for today. You know?
Okay.
And beautiful experience. You know, it's like he's got this beautiful little. It's like a tiny house. That was his little therapy house behind his house. Mm-hmm. So the setting was like primo.
Yeah.
And then it's like he's there. It's like I'll make you a cup of tea. You want a cup of tea? Like let's put some music on. And he's playing this African mbira. It's like, oh man, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
How can you not feel full of love for the whole world? It's incredible. Your heart is just going,
it just completely opened up.
Completely open.
Yeah, it's amazing. Just
amazing.
I would say and I was really interested in it because I'd say I'm someone that struggles with my emotions in terms of not being expressive. Mostly because I don't blame my parents, but they always
controlled.
were. Yeah, and they always were like, well, we have things to do, so I love my mom, but she would always say you can't be crying right now. And it was like, and at times you built that toughness, but at other times you're like, I need to express it at some point.
Yeah, you do.
And,
you do.
And so that's where I've realized.
Or you're going to end up depressed.
Yeah,
or really angry and an asshole.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's where with psilocybin I felt like that's helped me so much with just being super expressive and just
awesome. So on that note, I'm keen for Oregon to because it's just like opening up now.
Yeah.
To make it available.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's very hopeful. That's a really good development. Finally.
Yeah.
Finally. Yeah.